2021 has come to a close. Yesterday I talked about the 5 worst movies of 2021. Now it's time to talk about the 5 best movies of 2021. The 5 worst, people probably don't care as much, have strong opinions like this is absolute worst movie of the year. But for first place, I can tell you guys are 100% going to disagree with me on maybe every single placement because people resonate with different films. So this is Max Reviews. I'm Brayden, and we're just going to be talking about the 5 best movies of the year for me. I decided doing top 10 maybe. I was thinking maybe, but I decided not to. I'm going to leave that for my next video coming out tomorrow or the day after that. I'll leave a little notification for that. And so just so you know, leave your comment down below. I want to know what people like this year. My top 10 is going to probably be controversial, but my top 5 here is 100% going to be controversial. My top 10, I tried to do a sort of mix of everything. I did some animation, I did a little bit of Disney, sort of a little bit of horror, and then everything, but my top 5 are just raw, hard emotion, like this is what I like this year. So leave your comment down below. I guarantee you are going to disagree. And also, so you know, like, these are my kind of movies, like big blockbuster films sometimes. It doesn't have to be big, like there's some movies that are in my top 10. They're not big blockbusters. They're tiny movies that just surprised me. But anyway, 5th place here is gonna be The Suicide Squad from James Gunn. He just knocked it out of the park for this movie. I loved The Suicide Squad. All the characters, you care about all the characters in this movie. Like, not as like Disney, like, I don't want him to die, he's so perfect or something. No, this is like, you care about these characters. They're so fun. And each character has a little fun thing. And it actually goes and has the brutal deaths and has dark comedy in it with just if you see the first 10 minutes of this movie, you know exactly what kind of movie this movie is going to be. James Gunn, I've only seen 3 of his films with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and The Suicide Squad now. And with the Guardians of the Galaxy, he had his darker humor, he had the characters, he had that stuff. But he also, before he'd done this, he'd done a bunch of, like, R-rated horror and action movies. And so, seeing him it seems like he pours all of his heart into this movie. I know some people aren't as big fans of James Gunn, but when I'm watching a movie, if I'm a big fan of the director or something, then I will definitely, like, check it out, like Steven Spielberg, say, he came out with West Side Story. If I could have seen that, I would have seen that 100% because it's Steven Spielberg, great director. But for actual movies, just a random movie, if I have a grudge against the director, am I going to judge it on his movie? No. I'll judge it on him, not his movie. And James Gunn, he just poured his soul into this movie. And this is like James Gunn. This is what James Gunn is, kind of a thing. His dark comedy is fun stuff, the characters in this movie, the deaths, the action, I loved this movie. It was, I knew I would love it, but I didn't know I would love it this much. It was just so amazing and great. That's why it comes in 5th place. All of these movies are like, absolutely love them. They're like 9.5, 10 out of 10 for me. 4th place here, this is the one that I saw most recently. Free Guy, with Ryan Reynolds. This is just, I'm sort of surprised I actually got this. I knew it would love it. I knew it would be top 10, but actually 4th place here. That's pretty good. It's just such a fun and emotional film. It has everything that you want from the movie. It has the emotion, it has the comedy, and the great final fight. Yikes. I went on YouTube and was rewatching that and seeing people's reaction, and it's just great. And it also carries a bit of emotional depth to it. It's really funny, and it also has the emotion. And Disney acquired it, so they got to have a bunch of fun cameos. I know not everybody's gonna be into, like, oh yikes, this again. But for me, I just was so surprised that they went to these lengths, and did it. It has Taika Waititi in it. I can tell you, like, a movie with Taika Waititi, that makes it pretty good. With having that in it, it's just so great. Ryan Reynolds is great. Just like, he talks to his friend, like, what if this wasn't real? And just the acting, and It's such a fun movie. It's another one of these fun movies. My next one on here isn't as fun, but it's a really emotional one. And Free Guy, it actually had emotional depth to it. And it looks really cool. All these films here are blockbusters, I would call them. And just Free Guy, I just really loved it. It was really great. Before we get into top 3 here, just leave your comments down below. I want to know your favorite movies of the year. I 100% doubt they will make my top 10, most likely. And I've probably already seen it. But name your, favorites, top 5 or something. Because it'd be cool to see. Third place here is going to be Dune. Now, this is the serious, epic sci-fi. It is one of the most epic beginnings ever, and it has an amazing cast all around. It spends its time developing the world and the characters enough, so when things happen, you feel it. This is just such a beautiful sci-fi, and I love it. This was I saw this back in November, and it was one of those movies that I was like, do I actually want to see this? I was going to see Eternals, and then everybody said Eternals was horrible, and so I didn't see Eternals, unfortunately, because it's still going in theaters, and I haven't seen it, so it's not going to make my list tomorrow, but I decided to see, hey, I'm going to see Venom Let There Be Carnage, and then that didn't work out because my buddies couldn't make it, so I decided, hey, I'm going to check out Dune with my dad, because I think my dad would like Dune, and it just starts, and I was just captivated. My dad said, and I quote, this is a great way to describe it, it feels like it was only an hour, but it was 2.5 hours. It just flew by, and it's not one of those movies Epic with the Suicide Squad where it's just yeah. No, this movie flew by, and it was beautiful, the movie. I know this isn't going to work for everybody, but for me, 100% worked. The characters, it seems a lot like Star Wars. It inspired Star Wars with George Lucas, the Dune book, and it comes full circle to the end while leaving tons. It's 100% got to get a part 2, and it is. I can't wait for part 2. My dad said, and I quote, he said that he wished that it wouldn't have stopped. He said he would be fine if it was 4 hours, because he was having such a great time spending time with the characters that he didn't want it to end. He wanted it to resolve anything. And the only problem that I could have with this movie is that it doesn't go on that long, and it's 2.5 hours, and it doesn't 100% come full circle. And now that they've announced that they're coming out with a sequel, 100% it is going up. It went up because the sequel means that it's not just one of these throwaway movies that you probably forgot about already, like Percy Jackson, Aragon, and Artemis Fowl, that was based on a book. They came out with part 1, never came out with part 2 kind of thing. But Dune, such a beautiful movie. It has Josh Brolin, Thanos. It has Zendaya, MJ. It has Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron in it. And it's just, I'm probably forgetting something. I think there's somebody else in here that's a very famous actor or something. I can't think of it right now. But just such a great movie. It has these depths and the mind. They're collecting the... They're collecting, yikes, what are they collecting? They're collecting I forgot it, but they're collecting stuff on this desert and spending fuel cells and getting there, and just beautiful sci-fi. Second place here, this was in first until this last month, but Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's just a masterpiece. It's the best DCEU film. It's 4 hours long. And there's really big moments in it. It's the end game of the DCEU for me. This is another one that it's not going to resonate with everybody because it's 4 hours long. It's going to take a while to digest. And some people, they'll just be like, it's too long. I couldn't really get into everything. It just went for the cameos, showing different stuff. But the DCEU, that was one of my first I think that was my first ranking video. And last place was Justice League. First place was Zack Snyder's Justice League. Justice League, you see all the problems in it after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's just such a perfect film from Zack Snyder. And he really did some great movies in the DCEU. But with Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's the end game. It has all the characters. It comes full circle. And when those big moments happen, he spends 3 hours setting everything up. So when the big moments happen, they have big implications. You understand what's happening. And just the final stuff that happens, it's just such a great movie. I know you're not going to agree with me with this probably, but I loved it. And it wasn't first until December. That seems to be a current theme in my favorite movies of the year. Like 2019, I think my favorite would be Avengers Endgame until Knives Out came out and just blew me away. And that I'm still competing with which one is better. And then 2020, my favorite movie was Sonic the Hedgehog. I know, like, there was no good movies 2020. And then I saw, what did I see? Oh, I saw Love and Monsters, and that just blew me away. But this year, my favorite was Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then, number one, the best movie of the year for me, Spider-Man No Way Home. I've been doing a ton of content. I told you guys it would be in my top 10. After reflection, it's first. It's just so emotional and powerful movie. And it just goes for the darker, more mature themes. It gives you the fan service, too. It pays off almost everything. Looks amazing. And it improves, like, every single villain in this movie. And the heroes. And just seeing more of the other characters that are in this without spoiling anything for it, it just pays everything off. It's just, like, if you haven't seen this movie, if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're not, like, sick of Tom Holland stuff, go check it out. It's just, I love this movie so much. It hit me really hard. It was just great to see it in the theater and just people being like, whoa, what happened? And just Green Goblin shows up, people are cheering. It was my best theater experience ever. And most of these movies, these top 5, I only saw 2 in the theater. Dune and Spider-Man No Way Home. And Spider-Man No Way Home, that was a big one. I just love this movie. And I know you guys are probably going to disagree. Some of you are going to agree with this. Some of you are Spider-Man fans. But I'm curious. What's you guys' favorite? So just tell me, comment down below your favorite. I said in my video yesterday that I would give a shout out whoever gets me their like bottom 3 worst movies of the year, if they actually give me a movie that's worse than He's All That or something like that. But I doubt you'll make it in my top 5 here, so yeah, just give me suggestions for good movies. I'm getting to the end of the year, so give me something different. Give me something odd. Like, I'm not really going to tell you any runners-ups because I want you to watch the video tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a live stream, I think. Either tomorrow or the day after that. I don't know because, you know, New Year's Day party with my family. So, I don't know if I'll have time, but tomorrow or the day after that, I'll send a notification out for you guys. I'm going to be ranking all 60-something/70 movies that I saw this year. We'll see how many it is. It's going to be a ton. Cannot wait for that video. It's going to be my biggest one yet. Thank you so much for watching. This is Max Reviews. Leave your comments down below. I want to watch a good movie before the year is over. I'll add it to the list. A little shout out to you for mentioning to me. And Braden out.